G'day guys, Ben Johnston from the Fight Centre here. Today I wanted to show you 3 different types of leg kicks you can add to your game. So depending on what your opponent is doing and depending on the distance and situation you're in, the leg kick's always going to be slightly different. By practicing 3 very different types of leg kicks, you're more likely to land the right one in the right situation. So the first type of leg kick I want to show you guys is, I guess, what would be considered the most traditional style of leg kick. This is what they're most likely to teach you in Thailand. If you ever do a camp over there, this is probably how they're going to show you to throw a leg kick. So it's basically designed to cause maximum damage and generate the most amount of power possible. We do that by using the body, the momentum of the body, and pushing off our back leg. So what I'm trying to do is basically almost jump using that back leg to close the distance, and as I land that front leg, I roll my hip and roll my shin over right down into their thigh, right in the center there. So with this one, I'll start a little bit of distance, push off that back foot. As I land, roll the hip and shin. So the second style of leg kick I'm going to show you guys is much less powerful, but in my opinion, much more likely to land. So in a fight, when I'm throwing leg kicks, I'm not always trying to stop them or trying to, break their leg with my shin, but sometimes I'm just trying to accumulate damage, because with a leg kick, each leg kick that lands, it doesn't, by the end of the fight, you haven't recovered from that. Each leg kick builds off the one before. It's not like a head punch where you feel a bit, you might get rocked, and then it might be a minute later and you're completely fine again. With leg kicks, that leg kick that stays there, that pain doesn't go away. So each time you kick it, it gets a bit more damage and a bit more damage and a bit more damage. And soon enough, they're going to be sort of feeling that front leg and not wanting to throw punches because 1, they don't have the strength because it's damaged, and 2, because they're worried every time they step forward, you're going to hit it with another one of those little kicks. These also set up nicely. You pepper away with the little ones, and then you can set up that big one that I showed you, the first leg kick, just to really seal the deal. So this one, I'm going to stay a little tighter through my guard, because being used as a counter strike, they're probably going to be looking to attack. So I'm going to sacrifice a little bit of movement, a little bit of power, and keep my hands a little higher as I throw that kick. The aim is to get it from the ground to their leg as fast as possible and with as little movement as possible. A lot of the time, what your opponent reads when you're throwing a leg kick they're not seeing the leg coming. A lot of the time, they're actually reading the hands. So your hands do this, ready to throw a kick, the eyes and mind recognises this movement as a leg kick and not the leg. So we're trying to, by removing that movement and keeping the hands up nice and high, the mind doesn't recognise that as a leg kick and is less likely to check. So with this one, we're not going to start as far away. We're going to start here, like that. Because obviously for this to work, to be nice and fast, and like I said, as a counter strike, we're assuming they move into our distance and then we stay there. We basically let them do the work and then slam that shin on them. Okay? So I'm going to start here, almost like jabbing distance. Here I am, hands tight, short, fast chop with that leg. As you can see, it's probably not as powerful. The bag's hasn't got as much movement off that kick. But like I said, you're not aiming to finish them with this kick. You're just aiming to land it. And you land it enough times, sure enough, they're going to be very hesitant to put any weight on that front leg. So the third style of leg kick I want to show you guys is also aimed, like the first one, aimed at causing maximum amount of damage. Now this one is different in the sense that you're not going to get the same loud smack on the bag when you land it, but it's different kind of power. It's more of a drive than a snap. It'd be more like getting hit with a truck compared to getting hit with, say, a Ferrari. It's going to have that momentum and force behind it that continues to drive, but it's not going to be hitting you as fast at the pace. So with this one, the main difference is I'm aiming to hit with the top half of my shin rather than that bottom half. So when I hit, it's almost just below the knee. Being closer to my pivot point, my knee and my hip, it's stronger. You know, if you think about how leverage works, being closer to the pivot point, you've got more force, you can move objects easier. So with this, I don't want to get as loud of a smack on the bag. With this bag, it tends to make a lot of noise, but a lot of other bags, when they're smaller, you can almost get away with having zero noise. So what I'm trying to do is basically limit the amount of noise and use the drive from the hip just to roll through that bag. Ernesto Hoost uses this one a lot actually. He tends to find a good angle off his body rip and he'll roll that shin down, hit right in the center or the top half of that shin. Really drives down that leg. You can actually see their knee and hip start to buckle from it. This one, it doesn't matter too much about our distance. You can practice it from close, you can practice it from stepping, but just as long as we're hitting with the top half of the shin, we're going to be causing the effect that we want. Starting further out, starting close. Notice how this one's a little more forward rather than trying to kick around the bag. And this one just deadening straight over the front of that leg and driving my hip in. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more tips and tricks like this. And also, feel free to let us know in the comments if there's anything you want to see us break down for you.